Welcome to Joyful Support Magic of Choice. Uh, I am Ariana. I am Ariana Durance, and I love to train dogs with love and joy. We do it with positive reinforcement and we use games and lots of choices. Today, we are talking with my good friend, Allison Morrow. She is not just my divine sunshine, she is a divine sunshine. And I met her while I was learning more about spirituality around us. And both we were on a journey of learning about ourselves, about the divine around us. And either of us have our own ways to use it. So I am so excited to know more about her side of choices. So I introduce you here to Allison. Please start with who you are, Allison.
Thank you so much. This is so fun. I'm so excited to be here. You just bring so much joy when I listen to you and talk with you. And I love how the universe brought us together and all by one single choice, right? So I'm Allison Morrow. I call myself Divine Sunshine because that's really what I feel when I connect with who I am. I'm an intuitive guide, I'm a channeler, and I love to help others when they're going through something in life that may need to have some help in shifting in any area of your life, business, personal self-development, all that stuff. And we all have moments like that where we may need some help. And so I like to just bring a little bit of my light, a little bit of my sunshine, and help others to be able to see their own divine light. So thank you so much for having me here.
I love that. And with your look on things, we learn from each other.
Absolutely.
And it's always fun to chat with you. And you are a dog lover because how many dogs do you have?
So I have 2 dogs. I have one English Mastiff. He's just under 200 pounds. And then I have a little Morkie who's like the size of his bowel movements. He's just a tiny little thing. So I have complete opposites. And which is so funny about that is actually at the time, I did not want to have dogs. I was going through a place where I had no dog hair, no dog drool. And it was randomly out of nowhere, someone introduced them to me, and I just knew, oh, those are my babies. And I made a choice, right? Like that's what we're here to talk about, is how we make these choices. And so I had to make a choice of, do I want to feel more love in my life, right? Will they bring me joy? And they really do. They really are everything to me. So yeah, I love my dogs.
Even with all the drool and the hair and the dirtiness.
Oh yeah, it's so worth it, They're just my babies.
Yes. And I love that because even if you thought that you were not ready for it, you did attract it. And you so needed it on your journey.
Yeah.
So sometimes we just attract the dog because they need to help us going forward in our life path.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's so cool. Yeah. All right. So beside that, Allison, every time when I talk with you, I learn more about you. So maybe we can dive a little bit into your past. Yeah. Because you had quite a past, quite a history you built up. Everything you have now, you are so grateful for, but it wasn't always that way, was it?
No, not at all. Actually, growing up, I had a very loving, nurturing, mothering experience, but also growing up, I had some pretty rough times, I was without a home many times, very poor. I mean, there was some pretty bad experiences, lots of abuse, things I've actually gone through as a child. And then it carried on kind of all throughout my life as I got older. And, the biggest thing is I struggled with was the financial wealth, or just not understanding how, man, I get to always suffer, right? Like I always believed that. And so, and then even as a growing up as an adult, my children, like I suffered with my physical health. My children did too. And when I suffered, like when I say suffer, I struggled, right? Like I had some really hard times growing up, but I chose not to allow that to define who I am. I still always chose to see positive in people. I still always chose to see positive and the good things in life. I didn't want those to bring me down. I didn't want those experiences to hold me back from growing. And if I look about where I was, where I came from to where I am now, I feel like I've continued to make so many good choices in life. I've just, and there is so much magic with that word, one single word, the magic of choice. It really is. You can either choose to continue to go down one path, or you can choose to try and step out of your comfort zone and try something new. There's other possibilities. And so when I started to make those choices to continue to always see beautiful things in life, and it's brought me other opportunities to where I can see this. So yeah, so it's definitely been quite an adventure of life, and I'm so grateful for all of it. And I'm going to continue to keep choosing to seeing more and more amazingness in life.
Yes.
How about
Yes.
you?
Oh, choices. I had made so many choices all the time. Like, my youth was okay. I don't think there was much wrong with. However, I choose myself many times, even when everybody told me that I was weird.
Yeah.
How many times I have heard that I am weird, and I kept choosing me.
Yeah, I love
And it's
that.
brought me to closer and closer to me. And 10 years ago, we even emigrated from the Netherlands to Canada.
Yeah, that's a big choice.
I know that was another choice, right? So I think choices was constantly, all the time. There's no day that we don't have a choice, right?
No, not at all. Actually, every day you wake up and you get to choose. Do I want to hit the snooze button, or do I want to get up? Do I want to sleep in a little bit longer? Do I want to go work out? Do I want to
Yes.
brush my teeth?
Yes.
We always have a choice on what we want to
Yes.
do every day.
Yes. And some people tell me sometimes, yeah, but I don't have a choice. But that's the choice too, right?
It is. Yeah, because if you feel like you're stuck, you're still choosing to believe that you don't have, power. Um, I really do believe like a choice is like our way of owning our own power. That is like the one thing that we can actually say that maybe we have some control over what our destiny, wherever we go in life, right? Is your choice. That is the one thing that we have that we can say that we can, the control is by our own choice.
Oh, that is so good. Yeah. So it's maybe even more. It's the power of choice.
Yeah.
It's
And
not
I love,
magic, it's just power.
yeah. And it is though, there's so much magic to it because it's what you believe, right? Our choice is can be magical, our choices can be powerful, our choices can be really hurtful, not
Yes.
to even yourself, so there is magic in every choice. And one thing I love about when I was feeling into all of this is understanding that I talked with my daughter just a little bit before, and I'm like, did you know that we can make up to like 70 choices a day? And she was just like, oh, she's like, well, I chose to put these clothes on. I chose to brush my hair, and I chose to have a good day at school. And I'm like, yes, exactly. And she's like, there's just so many. I'm like, yeah. But then we were talking about, I know I talked with you even about this, the routine, right?
Yes.
There's so many things that we don't even think about, right? Because brain is just in autopilot of our routine. So we don't
Yes.
realize we're making those choices anymore.
Yes. And I love that. And before a choice, there is an awareness. And awareness is everything. It's so powerful too. Because if we are not even aware about it, then we do it on routine. So there's
Yeah.
no choice. We just do it. We don't even know why we do it anymore, right? And
Yes.
in dog training, I have that all the time. People are
Mm,
doing their things, they don't even realize what the consequences are for the dog.
yeah. I love
But
that. I
the
was actually, oh, go ahead.
but the dogs, they just keep doing it
Yeah.
because they do it in routine.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, this brings up a little bit of awareness for myself. I noticed just yesterday, for some reason, my dog, I don't know what happened, but he's choosing not to walk up the stairs.
Ooh.
And so I thought, oh, that's not like him. And he's not showing any pain or anything, but it is interesting that how you say they have a pattern, right? And they know that, and every day he always goes to our car to get in to bring the kids to school, and he wouldn't get in the car. So I was like, oh, he's making the choice autopilot to go to the car to do the things, but then he stops and chooses not to get in. And no pain, nothing, I'm sure there's probably something,
Yes.
but I find it very interesting how you were talking with the dogs and where they just kind of
Yes.
go. And my
Yes.
dog is
And
mirroring that to me.
your dog thought we are going to talk about choices. I will show you. Yeah, but even in that, that you were aware that he made a different choice is that brought to you like trying to figure out why that happened,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
right? And I use in dog training a choice from the dog's perspective. So
Yeah.
I am not even making the choice for the dog, but I give a chance that the dog can decide. Because if you make a choice and you get rewarded on it, it builds confidence.
Mm, I
And
like
that
that.
is not just to us, but also to the dog.
Yeah.
So any dog who has an anxiety for things had often never learned or never trusted that it can make choices on its own as well.
Mm, yeah.
So choice goes way deeper because a choice can bring up emotions, not just for us, but also for the dog.
Yeah, I love that. And I'm kind of really feeling into that with my little Morkie that I have. There was definitely not a as loving of environment that I've been able to give. And not that there was anything bad necessarily, but I could see the anxiety that she's had. And so she really I've had to work with her on her choices and whether she uses the restroom outside versus in the house. And yeah, so giving her the rewards, then she's shifted into being able to choose, oh, if I go outside, there's good
Yeah.
things that will happen for me. And that's just
Yes.
like with us and humans, right? If I make this choice, you don't want to make these choices if they're not going to do anything good for you, right?
No,
We
they
have hard times with that. Yeah. So if there's a reward, yeah.
yeah,
We
they
can,
need to bring value. Otherwise, why would we do it, right?
yeah.
Yeah, so for dogs, the value is important, but often we put value in the things that we don't like. And we
Hmm.
think it is not value that we are angry and mad and frustrated that they will know that, but
Yeah.
they just feel it as, oh, attention.
Yeah. So, well, how do you feel about with making tough decisions, right? Whether there's even a time where I have to give up this dog or rehome it, right? Or even like in our human life, right? Like, oh, we need to make a decision that's going to be really hard. Either way, we choose, right? So, how do you feel about that? It can be hard and overwhelming when it comes to those big, hard decisions like that.
Yes.
I like to sit back and take a step back and okay, can I what's one little thing first? Maybe because sometimes a big decision on those big things can be so draining and scary, right?
Yes. Yes. I love that. Yeah. Just break it down. That helps.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. On the other side, I learned, especially over the last year, but I did it unconsciously already before. If I need to make a big decision, I just like to have inspirational time. or
Mm,
time in nature.
yeah,
And I'm
garden.
really allowing myself to trust my intuition even more
That's really good.
because I know I always have the right answer within me.
Mm, yeah.
So big decisions
But
come from my heart. That's for sure.
yeah. And I think that's a really great message to share is because sometimes we get in situations, whether it's like even for my health, right? I had an option to where I could make a decision and I could have this surgery, or I could choose to possibly still suffer, right? Feel the symptoms that I'm having, right? And so I was like, gosh, which choice do I really want to do? And it was really hard for me to do that. And you're exactly right. I had to trust, I had to go within and trust my own intuition. And so yeah, it was writing down, so the tools that I have used is like writing down, like kind of sometimes you write the pros and cons of a choice. Sometimes it helps
Yeah.
you to see a visualization of it. And so, yeah, even though it was still a hard decision, I got to a place where I could feel like, oh, okay, I trust myself. I can make this choice.
Yeah. I I needed to trust it more. And I think I did that more and more the last couple of years
Mhm.
to really trust myself in my own decisions, in my intuitive,
Yeah.
because the world kind of doesn't learn you that. They kind
Yeah.
of they kind of make you even more weird.
Yeah. I didn't learn about it in school growing up, and having a religion base,
No,
I mean, I was
no,
definitely not looked upon the best way when I talk about it.
no. And I know, and the fun part right now is how many times that I feel, wait a minute, I just get a download. Or that now I hear my daughter telling, I think I just channeled.
Oh, I love that.
Those little things are just like, yeah,
Mhm.
that's what I always wanted to hear from somebody, but nobody
Yes.
ever told me.
So what are some of the basic steps that you started to take when you got to a point where you're like, okay, I'm going to decide to choose me. I'm going to go down this path. What were some of the things that you started to choose to do on your regular basis to really listen to your intuition? Like, how did you know, like for myself, I love journaling or going for walks. Are there any things that you would choose, right? Like, that was a big decision for you too. Choose to really just express who you are. And did you notice people fall away and judging and just still, so all of those things. What are some things that you do to really feel and trust into your intuition?
Um, I think I started early, like very young age already, knowing
Mm.
that I was different. And it was told to me many times, but I didn't felt it was wrong.
Yeah.
So I spent a lot of time with dogs and other animals. Like I worked on farms and I worked in the zoos. I had such a big difference of animals where I worked with, and I think I learned the most from them.
Yeah.
I I
Yeah,
think that is really
absolutely.
true. But if
Hmm.
I go back to when I was younger, I was living with in a family with one brother and mom and dad, and everybody was smoking.
Mm.
And I was always like, why would you smoke? And they always told me, because everybody does do that.
Hmm.
So we do that.
Yeah.
And if
It's like they didn't have a
you,
choice.
yeah,
Just do
that
it.
was that was the idea. I know I always thought like, I'm not doing that. I have never smoked.
Mm.
And I could keep that in in a very strong way. But there were times when I was as a student in my own room or house.
Yeah.
I told my parents that they couldn't come if they wanted to smoke inside because I didn't want them to smoke in the house. And they
Mm.
didn't come anymore. And I thought like, oh, okay. So there was
Mm.
another awareness that I thought like, okay,
That was a big
I
choice for you.
I know, but I choose this, and people choose to be the way how they were, but if they come to you, they wanted that their choice was still with me. And That was
Yeah.
kind of a silly thing that comes
y-
up now. And I think like I was so strong with that,
That's
but that
good
was,
though. But
it,
it's
yeah,
hard, right?
yeah,
Again, that was a hard choice, and I think that is really important to remember. Like, we get these visions or we start imagining what we could be, what we could do, what our life could look like.
yes,
And then, like even like you're like, oh, I have my own place and it can be smoke free. And the people outside of you didn't really accept that. They didn't like your choice.
no, and that's okay. That's a choice.
Exactly. Right. Exactly. And so that's why I think it's so important, because if you have these big visions and dreams and see yourself being, up on a stage speaking, or you see yourself working with dogs, all globally, right? And that's your choice to choose to move forward. You can decide. That's the
Yes,
magic of choice. I can choose. This is what I'm going to be.
yes. And the closer that choice is with your essence, with your
Yeah.
alignment,
Yeah.
the better that choice feels.
Yeah.
Isn't
It's
it?
like it's like that flutter in your heart, and you're just like, you just know it.
Yeah, or the butterflies.
Mhm.
I think I have more butterflies if I think about all the things I want than I ever had when I was no.
It's exciting.
Yeah,
And so every
yeah,
day you get to choose, okay, what's one more thing I can do to move towards that?
yes,
Or do I want to choose to just be? And that's okay too.
yeah. Oh, oh yeah. There's many days that we don't have to choose anything.
Hmm.
How good is that?
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, it's just, again, it's being true to who you are. And
Yes,
it's
yes,
beautiful how we get to choose that every day.
yeah. But I think the most important thing in choice is that choice is part of who you are.
Mhm.
And choice can give you confidence, but
Yeah.
choice asks for responsibility too.
Yeah.
Some people don't want to make the choice because they don't want to carry the responsibility,
Yeah.
and that's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've been there, I've stuck and done some things, and because I'm like, that just seems a little scary. I don't want to right now. So I had
Yeah.
to, I made a choice to continue doing whatever I was doing, even though I knew it wasn't the right path for the time,
Or
so
it
that's okay.
wasn't the right timing yet.
Yeah, exactly. Divine timing with everything.
Yes. So, how about choices in your family?
Um, we've had to make a lot of choices as a family. Um,
Yes.
Actually, we've as a family, we've chosen, we've moved numerous times, and we had to make a really big, drastic, big decision in our with our family last December. So actually, it's just a little over a year that we almost had we had a good scare with our son, and we spent some time in the hospital, and we had to make a big decision at that time, and the nurses and doctors said, you need to move or you're going to lose him. And so we had to make a big decision at that time, actually, and we chose, for myself and 3 kids, to move to a different state while my husband stayed in the other state because we had just bought a house. And so we actually had to live separately, for over 6 months. And but so we made those hard decisions, right? It was hard, but at the end of it, it was so worth it. I have this beautiful home. Our kids are all healthy. Our relationship is so much stronger than it's ever been, all because we were willing to do and make that hard choice. We took responsibility, right? We were willing to do
Yes.
the work. And it is hard. Sometimes making those choices is really hard, but
Yes.
trusting the inner voice, right? Like we just knew like we had to do something big in order to save his life and what was going to be best for us. And yeah, so it's really beautiful to witness all of that even in the hard times and still be positive. I still chose to fight in a way, right? Like I just chose to see the good in all of it. I didn't want to see that this was just a bad choice.
No. But even if that happens, you can choose different again.
I know. Boop, there's another path. There we go. It's no different than the GPS, right? You can go a different route, alternate route, just take
Yes,
another path.
yes, yeah.
You're not
So
stuck with it forever.
every decision is not forever. You
Yeah.
keep deciding to it.
Yeah. We're always evolving, we're growing. So we get to choose and decide new things every day if we want.
Yes, I love that. Oh, so many choices,
Yeah.
so many good things.
Yeah.
And it's not just about you, it's about your whole family and all the people around you
Yeah.
and your new business because it's coming up more and more and more every day too, isn't it?
Yeah, even for yours too, like I love seeing you shining. And I always like think of you every time I'm doing anything with my dog. I'm like, oh, what would she think? What would she remember? This is a mirror. And yeah, so I love seeing, because you're putting the energy into choosing to do more of what brings you joy. And that's all that
Yeah.
matters.
Yes. Yeah. I think that's a big match that we have too, right? You want
Yeah.
everyday joy, and that's me too. The
Yeah.
love we have already with us and
Yeah.
the joy is something we need to find every day.
Hmm.
And we choose every day to experience that joy.
Yeah. I mean, we can where I live and where you live, right? It gets cold and it's dark for long periods of time, and we could choose to really hate it, or we can just choose to embrace it. You know what? This is where we chose to live. So
Yes.
I'm going to enjoy it.
And look what it all brought.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Yeah.
looking back and seeing all the gratitude with the choices builds more confidence and more
It does.
trust to do it again, right?
Yes. Yes. So when you're coming up on those big decisions, having to make it a big choice again, go back. Think about all the good choices, like all the good things that have happened when you made that other choice, and giving that gratitude for where you are now.
Yes. Yes.
This is
And
so
one
fun.
choice is never enough because it keeps choosing and choosing and choosing again.
Yeah.
All right. I think this is the perfect end for this conversation. We have a great description about all the choices. It's from all different perspectives,
Yeah.
how we choose it in our everyday lifestyle, in our families, in our being, and in our business.
Yeah. It's beautiful. This was so fun. Thank you so much for having this fun conversation.
Yes, if anybody wants any information about Allison, then please drop comments in here. And I'm sure Allison will come back to you about it. Or you
Absolutely.
can go to her Facebook page because a lot is on there and she is a great channeler. So if you want to know something, just check her
Oh,
out.
thank you so much. And definitely reach out, especially if you're in the local area over by you, and needing help with the dogs. You are very gifted with what you do.
Thank you. And if you are farther away, you can always book a free call and then we just chat about things that are around your dog. Because even if you're farther away, sometimes you're just thinking in a pattern and we just need to tweak it a little bit and
Yeah.
you can see the choices that you can do with that.
Oh, that's so
So,
beautiful that you offered that. You are amazing.
yeah, we will put the links in the comments and please reach out. We love you all. I love you, Allison. I am
Love you
so
too.
blessed that we are together and I can't wait to hug you again. And for now, we do it all over the screen.
Yes.
Thank you, thank you, thank
Bye.
you,
Thank
thank
you
you,
guys.
everybody. Bye.
Bye.